you know, you have this scary clown, and it turns out to be this giant freaking spider, and it's not
I mean,
scary whatsoever.
technically in the book there is a spider, but I mean it's more of like a mental. This is what these kids, the closest thing they can comprehend in their mind of what it looks like, as they describe it as some kind of giant cosmic spider or something.
Huh.
And it's not really a definitive like old movie monster Ray Harryhausen spider like they show it in the in the TV movie. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how they interpret it for this. But
I gotta read this book. I mean, it's so huge and daunting. I know I'll never have time to read it, but yeah, it's.
I read it once, like probably 10 years ago, and it's pretty fresh in my mind, a lot of it. But there's definitely details I've forgotten. But I just remember the end of it being so weird, and the end of the TV movie got it so wrong, and it's like I'm waiting to see the second part to see if this is going to be a payoff.
James, thanks so much for taking the time, man. I'm glad we could do this. I hope you had fun once again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can check out everything from James over on YouTube with Cinemassacre. You can see it on Cinemassacre.com. Of course, make sure you check out their other channel, Cinemassacre Plays. Follow them on Twitter at Cinemassacre, and you can follow Mike, who we talked about at Mike_Matei on the Twitter. So
they're great guys, and they give out some good information on the channels, and it's entertaining and funny. And James is always so classy and nice to us when he comes on. So go check out all James's stuff.
Really great to have James on. And now, before we get out of here, as always, it is going to be time to spoil your DC comics. But before that, I do want to give some other shout-outs. First, I want to give a shout-out to Djibouti and Classy Pax and Disby Erics and all those characters involved with the Four Winds. You all did a fantastic job. We haven't been discussing GTA for a little bit because we've just been so busy with everything else. But you all did so great. The Real Buddha with the Crack God, fantastic.
Oh yeah, we never got a chance to talk about that episode. We waited. It was a by chance, 100% random chance kind of thing that happened. Yeah. They started out saying no hobos were in the server. That it wasn't. They thought they were going to do hobo stuff, but nobody was in. I think they were thinking about even changing Jerry to a different character at one point, and then all of a sudden, blam! Every character showed up. Even Gary of the West.
Gary Jennifer Clinton.
Even the new Westbound potential Westbound showed up.
It was a stream where like for 2 hours nothing had happened. They were trying to get Officer Andrews on the hobo ride along, and he was busy, and they were just going around town beating up Craigs because we are Legion, Jerry. We are
all Craig.
We are all Craig. And then he beats up a Craig at the train yard, and then there's a new hobo called TJ, and then Captain Peter shows up, and then they end up getting Princess Dee Dee who shows up, and they finally find Andrews for the ride along, and he's with the hobos, and then Gary shows up, and they take him to the Bidet of Truth.
And then not only Gary shows up, but Gary shows up immediately after his sojourn into the West.
Yes.
We find out he lived with a pack of coyotes, or a pack of cougars. Like a family of cougars took him in, but they mainly just pissed on him and beat him up and didn't feed him, and they kept him hostage for 2 weeks. And then he escaped, and he finally had just gotten back from the desert trip when they met him. And oh man, best hobo episode ever. Best probably Jerry RP. Since the Tommy Silver one was my favorite. This one just as good as the Tommy Silver, if not better, with all the storyline that we got. And we found out that TJ is related to the evil entity. We've identified one evil hobo in the game.
And a big shout out to Classy Pax, who I've been in contact with Classy. We will have him on the show sometime in the near future. He's just been really busy. He's got TwitchCon coming up. But
TwitchCon, I hear that TwitchCon is going to be cool because the whole family RP people are going to be there, I guess.
But big shout out to Classy, who spiced up the server the other night when the whole server was at Bahama Mamas. And,
the talent show. God bless Classy doing God's work.
Classy doing God's work. I mean, literally, there was like almost everybody on the server. There was like 20 something people on the server, minus the cops. But
28, I think. Yeah.
They were all at Bahama Mamas for this talent show where there was like a $250,000 prize. Classy creates a one-off character, gets another guy with a one-off character. They go in and they rob the freaking talent show. And it's what's really interesting is how everybody played along with it. They told everyone to get on the dance floor. Everybody got on the dance floor. They told them to kneel. Everyone except for Miss Kimchi kneeled, and Miss Kimchi got shot because of it. Andrews was there. He had half the money, so they got half the money and they got out. But and Chief hasn't really seen this yet, so I'm kind of spoiling a little bit of it for him.
Oh, I heard what kind of happened in the Djibouti stream, so it's not really spoiled. I know what happened. It's just,
so
I don't know the details exactly.
It turns out Bayo was also there. Bayo, I missed when Bayo got back on the police force, but he's back in the sheriff's department.
Oh, okay. That's why he was with the other guy the other day.
He's back with the sheriff's department, and apparently he killed Classy's partner in the club because he didn't get out fast enough. Apparently, Classy, the whole stream was trying to figure out, his character was trying to figure out. They check everybody at the door. How did Bayo have a gun? But Bayo took out Classy's partner of 10 years, according to his character. Therefore, Classy was now on revenge against Bayo. And I mean, probably a good hour and a half of his stream was him stalking Bayo from a rooftop outside the police station. And it did end up with a massive shootout between Classy and Bayo, and Bayo got the lucky shot and ended up killing Classy's character.
Did he perma kill him? Is he dead now?
He's perma. He perma'd. But that leads to Bayo now having to deal with the fact that he killed a guy, even if it was in self-defense. So that furthers the character for Bayo. So but it was.
Well, then he had Jerry fucking with him too in the car when he was kept riding by.
Oh yeah.
On his bike.
So that's your GTA for this week. We'll have more coming up. But now let's spoil some comics.
Yeah, hit that spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The Renegades are about to spoil this week's DC Comics.
So this week, once again, we got another we got a couple metal tie-ins. But we got another
good ones too.
Oh yeah, we did get another one shot for the Dark Knights that are coming from the Dark Multiverse. This time it was the Dawnbreaker. This was the Green Lantern.
Oh my god, this had the creepiest panel I think I've ever seen relating to Bruce Wayne's parents. And oh man, it gets good.
So, it starts out like every single Batman film ever made in Hollywood with the death of Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah.
But instead,
with a twist, this one just gets dark as shit.
Bruce is there, young Bruce is there in the alleyway, but he's not afraid of what happened. The guy's like, I'll kill you. I don't know if it's supposed to be Joe Chill or who, if it even is Joe Chill in this one, but he says, you're next, and Bruce is not afraid, and a Green Lantern ring descends on a young Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, welcome to the Green Lantern Corps.
Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps, but Bruce breaks the ring. He wills the ring. He has so much willpower that he willed the ring.
He unleashes that element spirit that the Green Lantern light comes from, pretty much, and lets blackness into the ring. His will broke the will of the Green Lantern.
And I mean, Bruce ends up killing every villain in Gotham. There's a whole narrative about they called me a hero at first. Soon they stopped calling me a hero. He even kills Gordon because Gordon says, I don't care what you do to me. What you're doing isn't right. And he kills Commissioner Gordon. Yeah,
obliterates him. But getting back to young Bruce Wayne when he first gets the ring, first of all, he tracks down the mugger, kills him. Then he goes back to his parents' bodies and tries to will them back to life. And I think he breaks the ring, then he kills, because you can't kill with that. That's how he breaks the will of the ring. It's programmed not to kill. He breaks that protocol in the Green Lantern ring and kills the mugger with the Green Lantern ring. Then he goes back to his parents' bodies and tries to reanimate them with the Green Lantern ring, and it is the most disturbing panel probably ever of Thomas and Martha Wayne you'll ever see. They're just broken and twisted and like rag dolls saying, "We love you, Bruce," like shambling towards him with their fresh bullet wounds. And it's probably the most disturbing scene of the. I mean, the image of Bruce Wayne as a child between his two dead parents in the alley is disturbing enough. This tops it with the fact of his reanimated dead parents, like shambling towards him in the panel, and it's like probably the most, maybe since like Blackest Night, one of the most disturbing things to do with Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah, and then as he's killing all these people, the Guardians and now remember, these are the Guardians of the Universe, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
They and the entire Green Lantern Corps,
including Kilowog and the more famous, more powerful lanterns.
Yeah, you got Kilowog there. I mean, they're all there. And Bruce just looks at him and says, "It's not the first time I've killed a lantern." And he just obliterates the entire Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians. He kills them all.
Yeah. And it's a pretty gruesome. All of these one-shots have been pretty gruesome to me, it's showing every one of them have broken Batman's #1 command, not to kill.
Yeah, they've all killed.
They've all killed, and all of their universes are dying, and I think maybe because of them, because the Batman killed it in that universe. And as we've seen and we'll talk about it in a minute, Batman, the new issue of the regular main title Batman, Batman even proved to himself that when the Joker actually saves Batman, saves his whole psyche from what he does in that issue, which we'll get to. But yeah. I mean, we've seen that Batman isn't necessarily above killing in these other dying universes. Their Batman failed.
Yeah, and when
they broke their #1 law, and their universe broke apart.
And when the Dawnbreaker, now of course in the main Prime universe of DC, he goes to Central City. He goes to the home of Hal Jordan and starts killing again, and Hal Jordan shows up to try to stop him, but is pulled away by Dr. Fate.
Yeah, once again, Barry Allen was pulled away by Dr. Fate, now Green Lantern. And then in the book that you haven't read yet, which I don't really want to spoil for you, Green Lantern 32, by the way, if you haven't read this week.
Green Lantern or Green Arrow?
Green Arrow, excuse me, Green Arrow. Green Arrow 32 is pretty essential to Metal. So if you're not planning on getting it, get that one. That's definitely the tie-in you want to get this week. We learn a little bit more about the Dark Knights, possibly a weakness for the Dark Knights. I don't want to say much more about it because I want Spin to read it because it was really good. But also another, all of these one-shots, Dark Knight one-shots, beautifully drawn, great artwork, great story, really dark stuff. This issue of Green Arrow, also really good artwork, really well-done story, and there's a definitely essential tie-in. All of the Dark Knights show up in this, including the Batman Who Laughs, and it's pretty important to this series tie-in. So I recommend everyone get Green Arrow number 32 this week if you're following Metal. You're gonna like it.
Yeah, if you're following Metal, I highly recommend you follow Metal. It is such a good story arc so far.
And to also let you know, for those that if I've accidentally said it on the show, or if you've seen me say it on social media, I was under the impression that Batman White Knight was going to be one of these tie-ins. I wasn't sure about it, but it's not. But it is very good. It's basically the story of the Joker is somehow cured of his mental illness. Batman actually attacks the Joker and forces him to eat this medication that the Joker claims would cure him of his madness or whatever. And so Batman kind of force feeds it to him, and they arrest Batman. And the Joker gets a lawsuit against the city, and the Joker now is seemingly normal and has now decided thinks Batman is the problem, and has now decided he's going to clean up Gotham and he's going to be Batman's White Knight instead of the Dark